Good morning, you guys. I am back for another day in the life of a marketing manager. I just got back from my Legree class. It has been harder and harder to wake up. Let me know in the comments if you also kind of rise with the sun. Like, I'm definitely a morning person, but when it starts getting bright out later in the day, like the mornings start to get darker and darker, my natural sleeping cycle just also changes with that. And so lately it's been harder and harder for me to wake up earlier. And I know it's just going to continue to do that throughout the winter, because I definitely rise with the sun. So in the summertime, I'm like 5 a.m., like I'm ready to go. And then now it's like I got up for my 7 a.m. Class at like 6:30, and I was like, oh no. But it's fine. We went, we did it. I'm really proud of myself. I've been pretty good at keeping up my fitness lately, which I'm very, very proud of. It's been a long time coming, and I really dropped off for a long time, but lately I've just been listening to my body more and just kind of going on the days where I know that my energy levels are there, and not to mention like setting my intentions right to go to these workout classes. So, yeah, it's been good. I've been good. All right, we're gonna start another day of work together today. But I wanted to show you guys my Click and Grow garden because it is flourishing right now. So this is my Click and Grow garden. You can see that the cilantros actually grow super haphazardly. So sometimes I just come here and like I try to carefully detangle them. And sometimes I wish I got the smaller one, but it's just so little space for the plants, especially if you have a plant like cilantro that really just grows whichever way it wants. You can see my lettuce plant is healthy as heck, so I gotta start using that. I might eat something with lettuce today. And then this is my little Thai basil plant, and then I've got two regular like Italian basil plants, and then this tomato plant which has grown in total 4 tomatoes. I actually have to water it. You can tell that it needs watering when this little indicator drops down. What I do, because my indicator is sitting on the other side, is I'm going to detangle these cilantros first. Is I just take out one of the pods like this so that I can access the water reservoir. And then I just take my sink hose and do this. And that's like the easiest way for me. So you can see that indicator that was like an indent before, it's like a way smaller indent now. It's actually this little like floaty thing. So it just floats up when the water reservoir is filled. Okay, before we get started with today's video, I want to thank Later for sponsoring this portion of the video. Whether you're a small business, a content creator, a social media manager, a marketing manager, and you have to work on social media content, I think people don't see the amount of work that actually goes into scheduling, creating content. There's the ideation, there's the planning, there's the drafting, there's the creation, there's the figuring out, does it fit in your feed? When should I schedule it? What's the best time to schedule? I think it's super, super important to use tools to your advantage. This is something that I always try to tell people when they ask for advice in like a marketing career. Use tools to your advantage. If you work for a company, suggest to your financial director or your manager or your CEO that you need these tools to help you achieve your job and like execute it really well. One of my favorite social media planning scheduling tools is Later. I actually use Later for one of my side businesses, which we do some marketing consulting work for small businesses. Later helps you save time when you're planning and scheduling your social media posts. You can plan your strategy, schedule posts across all your social platforms, and even send followers to other important pages through their link in bio tool. I think just the fact that you can see and plan and strategize your feed and that it saves time is all the reasons you need to use Later. It has really great analytics features as well for you to identify how your accounts are doing, but also details like what the best times to post is across all of your different accounts. To use Later to schedule a social post, it's super easy. All you have to do is drag and drop the media that you want to add to Later to schedule. Once you've dragged all of your content in, you just have to drag and drop it into when you want to schedule it. You can set up your best times to post and enable that. And then Later will actually tell you all of the best times that you should be posting at, aka when your followers are the most active. So then you just have to drag and drop things to those times. For example, on Saturday, 9 a.m. is the best time. Write your caption and just hit save. Let's say I want to publish something to Twitter. Create text post. You can turn on click tracking so that you can track link clicks from this specific tweet in your analytics. Hit save and voila, it is scheduled. They really make it foolproof for you to schedule and plan your Instagram posts. You can even see your feed like I mentioned. So if I select the Instagram account, go to preview, you'll see what that next post will look like in your feed. And when you have multiple posts, you can actually click and drag them around to see what they're gonna look like. It also lets you flip between your feed and then just your Reels feed, because we all know how important it is actually now to have a sexy Reels feed as well. If you guys are looking for an awesome, super easy to use, super time saving, and honestly kind of aesthetic social media strategy, planning, and scheduling tool, make sure you go and check out Later. I will include a link to them in the description box below. And thanks again to Later for sponsoring today's video. All right, we are back at the desk, ready to start my workday. I do have a meeting today, so I'm gonna prepare a little bit for that. Oh, how do you guys like the audio, by the way? Because I got a mic for my camera. Before I was honestly just using the camera's mic, and yeah, I feel like it sounds crisper. I was like evaluating the audio. Okay, let's take a look at what I need to do today. So I have a meeting at 10:30. I think it's gonna be some more design stuff today, like the other days, and then I'm gonna do some more product testing today, which is super exciting. I've got some work to check over from some of my contractors just to make sure that's all finished. And then what I think I'm gonna do is actually go through my projects board and just do a little bit of cleaning, just to make sure that everything is being finished at an appropriate time. I'm gonna go through and just evaluate like what else needs to be done and what work needs to be assigned over the next little while, because I actually haven't had the time to do any housekeeping like that for a little while. So I think today would be a really good day to do some housekeeping and just make sure that we are on track for all of our targets. I think that's everything for now. I'm just gonna comb through my Notion for a little bit and then we can get started on the first task of the day. Okay, so this is the landing page that I've been working on, and it's just missing a last few details. So I'm just gonna quickly go over that and get it ready. And I'm gonna just hop on a call with my UI UX designer later to figure out, just get her opinion, I guess, and figure out the direction of this page. So I'm just gonna wrap this up really quick. So I want to quickly show you guys something that I've been working on, thanks to the advice of our amazing UI UX designer. But this is kind of the design guidelines that I was building out at first. Sort of a style guide so that it was really easy for me to remember what size are all the fonts going to be, what's the padding like, what's the padding for the buttons like, which is great. I'm very proud of myself for doing this for someone who is a non-designer. But she actually kind of recently taught me about AutoLayouts, as well as using components properly. I've always known about the components feature in Figma, and I think I know it now better than ever. But I have this marketing design system file where I've broken it down into the illustrations, the website components, and then like the different fonts and colors. So if you go into the illustrations, you'll see all of the illustrations that we have purchased for our website. And if you click into them, they are individual components. And then if you go into website components, this is where it starts to get kind of fun. I'm still in the process of building this out. This should say buttons. And I've kind of just stole the layout that she uses in her design system that she uses for our mobile app and our web app. But here, for example, is what the actual size of the buttons should be for both desktop and mobile. And then these are like different variants. So I'm gonna quickly show you guys how to do this because this was so helpful to me. And then I'll show you how you use them as well. So instead of creating a button, let's say like this, and then you create some text inside, this is a button. How I've been doing it now, the way that she's taught me to ensure that it's pixel perfect, is you take a text, this is a button if that's like your call to action. I do like to make it this, whatever this is called, auto width, so it automatically adjusts to the width of the text, and then you hit Shift A, auto layout added, and then what you can do, so if you hit fill, let's change this color so that you can see it. This is the auto layout item that you've created, object I guess you can call it. You can see there's the original text, and then around the text there's padding on each side which you can drag to adjust or adjust here, and it's defaulted to 10 with 10 pixels in between items as well. So I'll show you what that means. But this is really cool because if you come back here, you can see I want my buttons to be 48 width always, with 40 pixel padding on the left and the right side, and then 16 pixel padding on the top and the bottom with 16 pixel font. So we're gonna come here, check that this is 16 pixels. Yep, 40 pixels left and right, 16 pixels at the top and the bottom. And then you will have to play around with this because here's the thing. This text has a like line height to it, and the line height standard should always be 1.5 times whatever your font size is. So I know you can do like 16 as the line height, which then makes the button the 48 height that we want. But when you do this and you add a character, for example, G, that kind of hangs down, you can see the letter no longer fits within the box that the text is contained in. So you always need to do 1.5 times. And now you can see that the G fits comfortably inside that box. So because your line height is 24, it becomes 24 plus 16 plus 16, which no longer equals 48. So when you're using auto layouts, you should actually just adjust the padding top and padding bottom to encompass that 1.5 times text box line height. So then if we adjust it to 12 padding top and bottom, it still becomes 48 height. And then you have this awesome button created via auto layouts. And then to create the variants, and I'll show you what variants are, but let me show you how to create them first. So let's say these are 3 buttons, but I want this button to be blue, and I want this button to be orange or coral. So now you want to turn these into components, and components essentially are just objects that you can reuse throughout all of your design files, and all you have to do is select them from your components list. So that button is this little weird diamond button at the top. Hit it, and hit it. All three of these are components now. But when you select a bunch of components, it gives you the option to combine as variants. So cool. So what is the property of these variants? Like, what's the difference? The color is different. And then you can actually come in here. If you click this, it'll show you which one it's talking about. But like this one is green, frame 2 and call it blue, and then frame 3 and call it coral. Okay, let's say it's that. I'm gonna actually change these 3 variants and go back to like a more square shape, rectangular shape, so that I can show you properly. Okay, so let's say we are building this page. As you can see, I have this button here. Ooh, almost forgot. I gotta do this. I gotta publish changes. And what that does is it publishes it so that you can use it in any design file. Then we can come into my assets and find that page. So it was located on Truly Small Website Components, buttons, and you can see my little square button is there now. I can then pull that button in, add it to my page, and then I can just use this drop down to select the right color. I think this function is so useful, and it's honestly helped change the game on how I use Figma and design things. So I wanted to share that with you guys. But yeah, as I was saying, I've been building this out really slowly. I mean, it's gonna take time, but I think it's just like a great start to having just a way more organized design system. Obviously, as you can see, the icons organization need help, but that will be worked on slowly. But yeah, that is my little fun Figma tip. All right, I just did some product testing that was really exciting. I feel like I've talked about this in a couple of videos already, but we're launching a really exciting product, but we're working on some really exciting products in our company. I'll definitely share more once the product is launched, but it looks slick. It looks so good, and I'm just so excited for kind of like where our company is going. It's so good, chef's kiss. But I guess I wanted to maybe talk about product testing a little bit so you kind of understand the process broadly, because I'm obviously not so much on like the product management side of things, but when we have an alpha test ready for internal testing, our team, the product side / dev side, will sort of figure out some questions that they want to know. Things like, was anything confusing to you? Are there any bugs? Did anything seem weird or off to you? Could anything be improved from a user standpoint? And they'll just create a doc and then a process that you have to follow to actually get access to the app itself. Once you can get the beta test app on your phone or whatever device you're using, then you can start doing the testing, and then they'll ask for stuff like what device are you testing from, what's the version, because they're constantly making upgrades as they're getting this ready for public testing. And yeah, you just leave notes like, this was weird, this didn't work the way I expected to, this link doesn't work, does this go anywhere? But yeah, that's kind of like the process of at least a small company, a startup, launching a new app. That side of things doesn't really apply too much to my role as a marketing manager. Like, I really start to step in when we're getting closer to public testing, because I start crafting the communications and figuring out a strategy there, whether we need incentives or what. And then as we're getting closer to launch, I'm looking at pre-launch strategies, whether that's like paid ads or landing pages, social ads, social content. And then, yeah, from there on, it's like web pages, email notification, email drip campaigns, like as much that I can do as possible that will pretty much help make the launch successful. But I thought it was still interesting to share for those of you who just want to understand what it's like working for a tech startup, especially a small one, because everybody gets involved with everything. It's awesome. Anywho, I wish that I could have shown you guys the test, I really do, but because it's not even ready for public testing yet, I don't want to breach any confidentiality conflicts, so we're moving on. Ooh, so exciting, but my web developer just got back to me with one of our newest web pages being done. So I'm just going through it right now. It looks really good. I'll show you kind of what it looks like. So I think I showed you guys maybe this design in a previous day in the life, but this is the fully built out version. Do I like this? Ooh, oh. Also, this is a bit weird. We'll have to look into that. So, more testing, but now I can actually go in and create a new Notion task called FBC landing page edits, or I'll go feedback, and then start typing out some of the feedback I have for this. I'm making some lunch now. Let me show you what I'm making. I found out about this brand via some friends that actually live in San Francisco, so I know that you can get it if you're in the States or if you're in Canada, but the brand is BBGO and I buy them at Costco. The thing I actually usually eat, which I've shown in a lot of my old videos, is this version. This is their mini wonton in the chicken and cilantro. They're super tiny, and because they're like already cooked, like the meat's already cooked, you just have to fry them or steam them or cook them in a soup. It's pretty awesome because you can add them to like a salad, soup, have it with rice, have it fried. They're really good fried. I really love them fried, but this is the original one. And then I found these guys, which are large because they're mandus. Mandus are like the Korean version of dumplings or of gyoza, and they're usually served fried. They're like probably like this wide. They're like bigger. And yeah, they are so good. This is the beef bulgogi version. So inside there's actually like beef bulgogi, what is it called? Glass noodles, some veggies, and it's all put inside the little dumpling. And all you have to do is fry them like on all the sides so they're kind of like golden like that, and then you just serve it. They're absolutely delicious. Takes no time at all, and it's been one of my favorite things to eat. As you can tell, like this is all I have left. There's like 5 in there or something. But anyways, that's what I'm eating for lunch today because it's just one of those days where I need a quick and easy lunch. Like these longer ones, you know?